this quiet night, our voices rise and blood irreplaceable. I feel the rhythm, let it sing for us. So violence, yeah, let's sing it.
Oh my god, this is heavy.
What would you do if you gave 10 years of your life to one single dream, and after all that time, the world looked at you and said you were not good enough? No stage, no debut, no spotlight, no chance to prove yourself. Most people would quit at that point. Some would accept defeat and move on quietly. Others would completely disappear. But there was one girl who chose a different path. She didn't let rejection destroy her. She didn't let silence erase her. She didn't let failure define her. Instead, she used it as redirection. This is not just a story about music or K-pop. This is a human story. A story about rejection, pain, patience, and finally rising again. This is the story of EJAE, and by the end of this video, you might see your own struggles reflected in her journey. EJAE's real name is Kim Eun-jae. She was born in Seoul, South Korea, but later her family moved to the United States, and she grew up in New Jersey. From a very young age, music was not just something she enjoyed. It was something she felt deeply. Singing was not a hobby for her. It was part of her identity. When she sang, it felt natural, like breathing. While many children were still trying to understand what they liked or what they wanted to become, EJAE already knew one thing very clearly. She wanted to be a K-pop idol. She dreamed of standing on stage, performing under bright lights, and connecting with people through her voice. And unlike many dreams that stay inside people's minds, she decided to act on hers very early. At just 11 years old, EJAE entered the world of K-pop training. From the outside, this world looks glamorous and exciting, but the reality is much harsher. Being a K-pop trainee means giving up almost everything that makes a normal childhood. Her days were filled with long vocal lessons, exhausting dance practices, language training, and constant evaluations. Every move was judged. Every note was criticized. Every mistake was remembered. There was always someone better, faster, or stronger. Childhood slowly disappeared. Birthdays passed quietly. Teenage years were spent inside practice rooms instead of with friends. But EJAE accepted all of it because she believed that one day, all this sacrifice would be worth it. She trained under SM Entertainment, one of the biggest and most powerful entertainment companies in the K-pop industry. This should have been her golden opportunity. Years passed, and she continued to train harder and harder. New trainees arrived, older ones left. Some debuted in groups and became stars. Others failed and went home. New faces appeared on stage, while EJAE stayed behind the scenes, waiting patiently. She kept telling herself that patience was part of the process. That hard work would eventually be rewarded. That talent would not go unnoticed. She believed that her time would come. But life doesn't always follow the promises we make to ourselves. Almost 10 years passed, and EJAE never debuted. No stage introduction, no cheering fans, no moment where she could finally say, "I made it." Then one day, her contract ended. Just like that, everything was over. The dream she had built her entire life around disappeared without any warning. This was not just a professional failure. It was deeply personal. When your whole identity is connected to one dream, losing it feels like losing yourself. EJAE later shared that this period was extremely painful. She felt invisible, like all her effort had left no mark. She felt forgotten. And that feeling is something many people watching this video understand very well. This is usually the point where stories end. This is where people quit and move on with their lives. This is where dreams quietly die. But EJAE did something different. She didn't walk away from music. Instead, she asked herself one simple but powerful question. If she couldn't be seen, could she still be heard? That question changed everything. She stepped away from the spotlight and entered the quiet world of songwriting. There were no cameras, no applause, no recognition. Just a pen, paper, and emotions that had nowhere else to go. She began writing songs not to impress the industry, but to survive her own disappointment. She turned rejection into lyrics, pain into melody, and silence into sound. At first, no one knew her name. No one cared who she was. She was invisible again, but this time, she was building something slowly and honestly. Then in 2019, everything changed. EJAE co-wrote the song Psycho for Red Velvet. The song became a massive global hit. Fans connected deeply with its emotions. Critics praised its composition. Charts reflected its success. And suddenly, people in the industry started asking one important question. Who wrote this song? That was the moment EJAE's name began to spread quietly but powerfully. After that, her career took a completely new direction. She became one of the most respected songwriters in K-pop, working with major groups like aespa, Twice, NMIXX, and LE Seraphim. The irony was strong. The girl who never debuted as an idol was now shaping the sound of the industry itself. She wasn't standing under the spotlight, but her work was everywhere. She proved that success does not always look the way we imagine it. Just when it seemed like EJAE had accepted her place behind the scenes, life surprised her once again. In 2025, Netflix released an animated musical film called K-pop Demon Hunters. The story followed a fictional K-pop girl group that fought demons using music. EJAE didn't just help write the songs for this project. She became the singing voice of the main character. For the first time in her life, the world didn't just hear her lyrics. They heard her voice. Then came the song Golden. This song was more than just successful. It was emotional. It spoke about becoming yourself, surviving rejection, and finding your true worth. People from different cultures and backgrounds connected with it deeply. For EJAE, Golden was not just a song. It was the story of her life. Years of rejection, silent struggle, and unseen perseverance finally reached the world. What followed was something no one expected. Global recognition, respect, awards, and love. The same industry that once overlooked her was now celebrating her talent. EJAE went from invisible to unforgettable. Not because she fit into the system, but because she created her own path. Her story touches people deeply because it feels real. It's for the people who feel left behind, for the artists who were told no, and for the dreamers who feel invisible. Her journey proves one powerful truth. Rejection is not the end. Sometimes, it is simply redirection. Today, EJAE continues to release her own music, work on global projects, and inspire millions through her story. She no longer chases validation. She lives her truth. If you ever feel ignored, delayed, or underestimated, remember this. Your timeline is not wrong. Your journey is not late. Your moment is not gone. It may just be waiting for you to grow into it. Just like EJAE did. If this story inspired you even a little, share it with someone who needs hope today. Because stories like this don't just entertain, they heal.